In these sections, we have worked on the topic of the couples you want. Once you have completed this route, you have achieved a series of knowledge and skills that we are going to make explicit in this part of the program. First of all, you have learned that throughout your life, you have projected an ideal partner, which is an image of your psyche, which leads you to choose someone on the basis of transferring to that person the attributes of that ideal partner that you had developed throughout your childhood and especially your youth. This projection process had a series of consequences for you. One of them, that by stopping seeing your own tastes because of focusing on your ideal partner, you lose confidence in your own abilities and, above all, in who you were. Secondly, you have learned to recognize these forces. The first of them was the unconscious desire to transform your partner into an extension of yourself, which leads you to want to have a partner who gave you value and, above all, who did not lead you to experience some type of situation in which you felt ashamed to be with that person, which is nothing other than the fear of what others may think about your own decisions. The second force you have managed to identify is the desire for control. You project a partner you want by your side because on an unconscious level, you want someone you can control. The problem is that this desire for control often caused you to be the one who ended up being controlled by those couples who apparently seem so submissive at first, but who, as the relationship progresses, begin to have an increasingly greater influence on your perception of the world and especially in your decisions. And the third force that you manage to identify here is the one that arises from your own insecurities, the one that leads you to want to fulfill yourself in the success of your partner, because of the success that you cannot achieve for yourself. Which, if you look, is proof of how when you lose confidence in your own abilities to get what you want, you begin to live through your partner, which leads you again to become someone who lives his freedom, his desires, and above all his happiness in the hands of another person. Once you have acquired this degree of awareness, the next level is for you to be able to observe when these forces that operate on you are activated. In the case of the desire for your partner to be an extension of yourself, it is possible that this occurs at times when the fear that others are going to judge you for your own decisions is activated in you. This is a complex of the unconscious that must be treated within the framework of psychoanalytic therapy, which is what I work on in the following program. In this case, you may be in a relationship in which you feel very happy, but when you think about your insecurities, this unconscious desire may arise in you to transform your partner into yourself, which is going to be the recipe for disaster, because in this transformation process, you are going to lose precisely those very personal qualities that lead you in the beginning to want to be with that person. So you must pay close attention when that compulsion arises in you that leads you to wish that your partner is not who they are, but that they are actually someone too similar to you. In the second case, the desire for control, you must learn to recognize when your partner's freedom becomes for you an issue that causes you some type of anxiety. It is very possible that when you meet someone, this force is activated the moment you define whether that person is easily controllable. But what happens if, on an unconscious level, you just want to be with someone you don't control? After all, unpredictability is something that best stimulates a relationship when it is done in a balanced way. In this way, you must observe the moments in which control becomes a very relevant issue for you, because that force could lead you to enter moments of desperation when you feel that your partner does not necessarily do what you want him to do. And finally, in the case of insecurity that leads you to want to fulfill yourself through your partner's achievements, you should observe is throughout your life, and even in your present, you tend to look for people who are more successful than you, because you assume that they are the ones who are going to solve the problems you have had up to this point in your life. When you stop seeking success through others, you are in a real position to achieve the success you so seek for yourself. And once you have recognized the origin and the moment in which those forces are activated, you will move to the next level, in which all the skills that you have achieved with these sections will manifest. First of all, because you have overcome the unconscious desire for your partner to become an extension of yourself. You will gain awareness and security that your partner is not you. With this, you can now begin to live your life on your own terms, without being tied to what other people say about what your partner does or doesn't do. After all, they are different people. Therefore, your choices are yours. Secondly, and thanks to the fact that you have overcome the desire for control, you have managed to regain peace of mind to enjoy your relationship or those you might have in the future, without always depending on him or her to do what you want him or her to do. This will make your anxiety levels decrease significantly, because by dissociating yourself from your partner's actions to define what makes you happy, you will be able to concentrate on controlling what is truly important, achieving your own life goals. And finally, thanks to the fact you have overcome the insecurity that led you to look for partners who were more successful than you to fulfill yourself, you have managed to regain your confidence to know that you do not need another person to achieve what you want in life, with which a series of unsuspected opportunities open up for you, which will lead you to achieve success on your own because you will no longer fear being alone, which is what will potentially help you to be even more desirable by part of people who want to be with you.